Hi there, Careblazers. It's good to be back. I hope you're doing well this Sunday. Today's video is a little heartbreaking. It's all about the loss and the grief that you experience as you care for your loved one with dementia. Even though your loved one with dementia is still alive, it can feel like you've already lost them, like they're just a shell of who they were. And even though you spend your days with them, caring for them, being with them, it just feels like you've lost them altogether. And it's heartbreaking and it's sad. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about maybe how to think about this situation and to help kind of cope with this situation in ways that have helped other Careblazers. So how do you cope with the loss of your loved one when they're right in front of you? Most traditional grief work talks about how to cope and how to grieve and get through the loss of somebody who's actually passed away. But as you know, loving and caring for somebody with dementia can be a really long process. And through that process, your loved one continues to get worse and worse. So what do you do to help cope when you're just slowly feel like you're watching your loved one slip away before your eyes? There's so much loss that comes with dementia. That loss can be realizing that the retirement plans that you had hoped for are just not going to happen, or the travels that you were planning after retirement are no longer possible, or the new bonds and memories you're going to make with your loved one over seeing great-grandchildren and family are just no longer possible. Maybe it's just simply the loss of not being able to have a deep, meaningful conversation with your loved one, or the loss of memories that your loved one's no longer able to reflect on and reminisce on with you because they simply can't remember them. All of a sudden, it can seem like your whole life and your previous memories and your future plans have just been ripped away. I was reading a book recently and something really struck home, and I think that a lot of you Careblazers will relate to this. It basically said, if you commit to loving somebody in your life, you are also committing to experiencing loss and grief at some point in your life. If you try to avoid loss and grief, then you will never have truly experienced love. So in a way, what you're feeling when you're feeling that pain, when you're feeling that loss, when you're feeling that grief about your loved one, you're actually feeling love. With this in mind, your grief and your loss is actually a sign of love. There's nothing that I can say or do to take away that grief and loss. It's something that is going to be with you. But I'm hoping that this new way of thinking about it can make you understand a bit better of just why it's so painful. It's a sign of your love. You can also understand that by loving somebody with dementia, your life has forever changed. There's no way to undo the dementia or to go back to a time when the dementia doesn't exist. Your life has forever changed. It's a sad situation, and it's okay to be sad about this situation. There's no way to cover it up or pretend to be happy about it. Now, this doesn't mean that your whole life has to be doom and gloom and that you still can't experience happiness and pleasure with moments with your loved one who has dementia, and even to a greater extent in other areas of your life. But I just want you to know that it is completely okay to have sadness related to the fact that somebody you love has been drifting away, in a way disappearing right in front of your eyes. What I'm encouraging you to do is to be kind to yourself. I know some of you might think this sounds super silly or stupid or simple, but truly it's important because this has a huge toll on the way you feel, on the way you carry yourself through the days. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. What are things that you can do when you're feeling really down? What always makes you feel better? A little lighter? What places or what people seem to lend you the support and strength that lift you up when things are really tough? It's important to know what your warning signs are that suggests that things are getting just a bit too heavy for you, or things are too painful for you, or you're headed down a really dark path that doesn't have a good ending. It's important to think about these warning signs and to answer the questions above at a time when you're not feeling completely overwhelmed and you're not feeling completely stressed. That way, when you do find yourself kind of headed down this dark path, you have something that you can refer to that can help trigger and bring you out of it. So a lot of times when we're feeling really down, our minds don't think as clearly as they could or as they should. So writing this down during a time when you're not feeling super stressed will help give you something reliable, something helpful for you to refer to when you do find yourself in those really painful, sad, or difficult moments. I've created a worksheet that kind of helps you go through developing your own plan to kind of help cope with the difficult times, especially when you're struggling with the loss and the grief of watching your loved one slip away before your eyes. So that's for free for you to download below this video. Careblazers, I'm so sorry that you're in this situation, but I'm glad that you're here. I hope this video helps you in some way. Do you know anybody else who's in a similar situation to you that you think might benefit from this video? If so, go ahead and share this with them. They can download everything as well. And take care of yourselves. I'll be back next week, as I always am. And in the meantime, if you want to connect with other Careblazers going through similar situations, you can request access to the closed Careblazer community group on Facebook. That's also linked below in the description. Be kind to yourself, Careblazers. I'll be back next week. Bye. All right, so one of my favorite things that would go on my list of something to do when I'm feeling really low, or something that always cheers me up, is to pet Guinness, my 14-year-old dog. And I talk about him a lot in my emails, and he's featured with me on my website, and he's always around when I'm recording Careblazer videos. Lift this up. There he is, snoozing away.